Turning our attention now to cricket. Australia are celebrating their first ever hold on the World T20 title after beating New Zealand by 8 wickets in the final on Sunday in the UAE. Gerard Morrisili has a recap.
A third limited overs World Cup final for New Zealand in 6 years. The Black Caps taking on the Aussies for a second time in that period. Spinner Glenn Maxwell feeling the power of the dangerous Daryl Mitchell. But the powerful right-hander didn't last long, falling at 28 for 1.
From Hazelwood, he ran his fingers down the side of the ball, and Australia have their first.
It looked like Captain Kane Williamson would head back to the pavilion for just 21, but he was given a life by Hazelwood.
And forward, everything happened. Went beautifully off the bat, found the fielder, dropped 4. Oh, it's a story in itself, that one ball.
The second wicket eventually came though. Martin Guptill trying to sweep this one over mid-wicket, but was caught in the deep for 28. New Zealand 76 for 2 at that point. Williamson made the Aussies pay for dropping him. Here he is launching Maxwell for 6, not once, but twice. The captain bringing up his half-century in just 32 balls. He didn't stop there. Another huge 6, this time off Mitchell Starc. The score, 128 for 2.
4-6, taking Starc to the cleaners.
Williamson eventually fell for a well-played 85. New Zealand 172 for 4 after 20 overs. Player of the tournament, David Warner, got the Aussies off to a flying start with 2 cracking boundaries. His captain, Aaron Finch, couldn't get going though, and he fell early for 5.
Man out there, can he get to it? He can, he's got great hands, but Daryl Mitchell, that is a wonderful catch.
Man of the match, Mitchell Marsh, then came to the crease and announced his presence in grand style. Warner continued his assault. He and Marsh putting on 92 for the second wicket.
Heck of a shot. He's dragged it from wide outside the off stump and played it straight.
Warner brought up his half-century in fine style with this 6 over mid-wicket, but only added 2 more before being cleaned up by Trent Boult.
Give me one, said Ken Williamson to Trent Boult. Here, my captain, he said.
Marsh continued to lead the way for Australia. He top scored with 76 off 50 deliveries. Maxwell playing this reverse sweep to the third-man boundary to give Australia their first ever World T20 title, smashing New Zealand by 8 wickets with 7 deliveries to spare.
Be written off, and they've finally got their hands on a men's T20 World Cup trophy, and it is richly deserved.
Let's take a look at the scorecard. We had New Zealand, they made 172 for 4. Of course, Kane Williamson top scoring with 85, Martin Guptill 28. Then Australia went on to make 173 for 2. They won by 8 wickets. Mitchell Marsh 77 not out, and David Warner 53. Then we had the wicket takers, Josh Hazelwood for New Zealand 3 for 16, Adam Zampa 1 for 26, and Trent Boult 2 for 18. Well, the captain of the Kiwis, Kane Williamson, spoke to the media after the match.
I thought the efforts that went in were outstanding, and you know, the guys worked hard to get to what we thought was a competitive total, and you know, unfortunately we weren't able to create many opportunities and get those breakthroughs, and you know, it was a little bit frustrating. We sort of thought on that surface that there'd be, you know, a few opportunities to do that and build some pressure, and you know, I think we've seen the conditions throughout. They've been fairly consistent, and the ball did skid on a little bit, but Aussie were outstanding in their chase and very, very clinical, and you know, they've had a fantastic campaign. They're a brilliant side, and they thoroughly deserve their win.
Meanwhile, Aussie captain Aaron Finch said it was mission accomplished. All right, so we don't have that from Aaron just yet, but Jordan Lance, New Zealand, Kane Williamson fighting the fight but not getting over the line. You said something about that when you go first.
No, I'll go last because I'm the winner
go.
of the set. So I'll need to hear from the losers first.
Well, let's hear from Aaron Finch. I think we do have him now then.
Yeah, it's awesome. It really is. I think there's been so much talk about this being the one that's been elusive to Australia. And to be fair, we've probably underperformed in the past, if we're being honest with ourselves. We've had some great teams along the way. This team's pretty special. The camaraderie, the way that everyone really cares for each other and looks after each other, looks out for each other is pretty special. So, yeah, it's awesome. That's brilliant, and it's great for Australian cricket.
Yeah, really outstanding by the Aussies there. They had gone into the tournament as huge underdogs because it has been the weakest form of their cricket, Australia. T20s, ODIs and Test cricket. No T20 World title before this. Remember, they have 5 one-day international titles in 50-over cricket. And the last time New Zealand had played them in a T20 series, New Zealand beat them. So there was every reason to think that New Zealand could have won this match based on their body of work in T20 cricket. But the Aussies are tenacious cricketers. That's just their makeup. That's in their DNA. You don't beat the Aussies in a cricket match easily. And that's what the Aussies showed on Sunday in the UAE.
So, on the point of body of work, that's precisely why I said here Friday that it would have been a no contest. I know it's easy when 2 teams are playing or 2 persons are battling. I mean, there's a 50% chance that either will win. Yeah. So to say one is not genius, but it's not that I said Australia would win. I said it would be easy, and it turned out to be easy. Australia, New Zealand, since 1981, and that infamous underarm ball incident in that ODI at Melbourne, 1-1, everything to play for. The Australians New Zealand needed a 6 off the last ball. Mm-hmm. And Captain Greg Chaplin instructed his brother Trevor to bowl underarm to ensure that the ball wasn't hit for 6. Mm-hmm. And the New Zealanders, the Prime Ministers got involved of both countries, agreeing that it was a disgrace and despicable. Mm-hmm. Australia, that's the mentality. They will do anything, fear, means and foul. And that wasn't illegal back then, but became illegal after to bowl underarm. Mm-hmm. Against the spirit of the game it was. That's their mentality. New Zealand have always felt as if these Aussies will do anything to get us in a cricket match. And I felt that the superiority complex that the Australians have built into cricketing clashes with the Black Caps in tests, in ODI and in T20s would serve them to great effect. And no matter how many the Kiwis put on the tins, they'd always believe, especially after a strong start, that mate, it ain't our day yet again. These boys in yellow, again, have gotten the best of us and got the better of us, 2 of them. And so I always felt that the Australians, looking at it, were rubbing their hands with glee, saying, gentlemen, let us go and pummel the Kiwis as we always have. While the Kiwi dressing room talk was, gentlemen, let's go and see if we can finally beat the Australians. As you said, 5 ODIs,
titles, World
Cup,
yeah.
1 and then 3 on the trot and then 1 more. So now they have 5 world titles. They won the Champions Cup, I think, twice as well. So the Australians have won everything. What have the Kiwis won? World Test Championship a few months ago.
Yes.
Apart from a World Test Championship, what have New Zealand
Which is big
won?
though, George. Yeah. Don't underestimate that. And that represents the current culture in this New Zealand team.
No, I'm disagreeing with you that the World Test Championship, in the format that it is big because the Test Championship...
It's the biggest thing in cricket.
The World Test Championship is the biggest thing in cricket.
Test cricket is considered... Test cricket is considered... The Ashes is only 2 teams.
Exactly. That's the point I'm
making.
The
World Test Championship is everybody.
No, well, I'm saying to you...
Ashes don't include India, and India is one of the best teams in the world.
I'm saying to you, if India beat Australia at home, beat England anywhere... Well, I won't say the West Indies, and it's a shame I can't say the West Indies, but if India beat Australia or England, they will regard that as a greater test of their mettle and a greater achievement than winning a Test Championship. That's what I'm suggesting. So that's, in that context, I'm saying the Test Championship is a new thing. It is still a phenomenon. So it's not regarded as the holy grail of cricket in the way that the settling of the Ashes is. But that's for another time. So I'm saying Australia are used to winning things. The New Zealanders aren't used to winning things.
Yes, George, but what I'm saying is but that's over history.
Yes.
In the current setup, the New Zealand team cannot be faulted for that weakness. In this current New Zealand setup.
But apart from the Test Championship, what have they won?
But this is no. This is no.
No,
but I'm saying, so where was evidence of the Test Championship prowess and newfound mentality in this final? Remember,
George,
the final wasn't close.
They did it until
they lost by 8
the
wickets.
Final. They showed that.
No, I'm not talking about the final. I'm talking about the final itself. There's one thing to prepare for the dance and to train well. Yeah. There's another thing to perform well at the dance to the extent that you almost sway the judges in giving you the verdict. In this game on Sunday, it was a one-team competition. It was a one-team final. So I'm saying this newfound mentality. So it's typical New Zealand. Newfound mentality is down to pleasantries and the graciousness of someone's pen to say, "Oh, the Kiwis did very well," but the but is they didn't win the trophy. That's the point I'm making.
Yeah, which is a solid point. But I'm also making the point that apart from New Zealand's current strength in world cricket, which is undeniable, Australia's weakness in T20 cricket has been there for all to see. The West Indies comfortably beat Australia in the T20 series earlier on this year. The Australians went into the World Cup T20 as underdogs because of their weak performances in T20 cricket, not just this year, but last year, and generally speaking.
But here's a nuclear point to that. It is cricket. That's the point. Whether it's T20
no, which is why we gave New Zealand the. We said they probably could have won because it's cricket and you said
no, it's two teams.
50,
so
50,
but I'm saying what you said. Both of you said that
the Australian tenacity did it, George.
You know,
the point is made that Australians are winners at all costs. That's in their DNA to win.
And in one team's DNA is to play well and fall short, and that's the point. That's what happened on Sunday.
Yeah, but
are you denying that?
Well, it happened, yes, but I'm saying going into the game, when you were analysing the game, Sunday's game did not read as a straightforward Australia victory.
Well, I'm saying
not given everything that we had seen leading up.
Well, Lance, I'm comfortable if you say you didn't read it that way.
Yeah,
I did, because remember, from the semi-finals, I said if New Zealand played Pakistan in that final, I was going to go New Zealand. Because Pakistan would fumble at any given point. And I said if it was Australia, then for me it would be a no contest. New Zealand, Australia in a final, no contest for me. Well, and so it proved. Yeah. Remember, we're not talking about semantics, we're talking about actually what happened. Did it happen the way I thought it would? Absolutely yes. 8 wickets.
Okay, George, you won. Feel good?
No, Australia won.